I'm not putting any gasket sealer on, I just want to put the cases together, make sure everything's in the right position. Should be. This needs to be in neutral. Okay, I've got the chains roughly in position. This is a bit of a dry run to make sure the forks line up properly with the output shaft, and to make sure that I know where everything's going so that I don't have to keep lifting it on and off when I've got sort of sealant on there, messing it all up. So it's a bit of a practice, and I just need to figure out where all the bolts go, because I don't want to be doing that last minute. Look at that, straight on. I mentioned before, I know where all these bolts go. These ones, not a clue. They're the lower crankcase, sort of all the external bolts, and these are all the internal. Well, some of them external, but some are internal. Anyway, thought I'd put them all in order. Hadn't put them in order. Got to figure out where they go. So that's what I'm going to figure out now. And the upper crankcase, there's only 4, including the one with the ground strap. I think it's that long one there. The reason I was having this sort of test fit, if you like, so I can figure out all the bolt positions and then pull it all apart and put some gasket sealer on there. But yeah, at least that does slip together quite easily. So just check in case all the click in and out. Okay, it's all good. Okay, thinking these 3 bolts are of different lengths, so looks like a candidate. And actually, yeah, that might go in there, and we might be good for there. So I think we found our first 3. That's good. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bolts left. And one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9 hiding there, and that one right there, the small one, and that one right there, which you can access from there. So I'm guessing, and I have to guess, that the 7 I've got grouped here are the 7 there, but again, I think I've got probably 3 different lengths. Let's get them out and have a look at them. Yeah, that is actually 3 different lengths. Those 2 on the end there are marginally shorter, so I just need to figure out where they go. The long one shouldn't be too difficult, and then of course the other 4 should just slot into place. Right, well I think these are wrong for a start. Do you know why? Because I've just looked at those 2 and they're very deep holes. They're both as deep as each other, and I've only got 1 long bolt left, and that doesn't fit. So reckoning the 2 really long ones there are meant to go there. That seems more like it. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to mess this up so badly. They're the same length. But the longest bolt left, it doesn't go in there, so... Of course I've still got these, and... that's probably 2 of the ones I'm looking for, so Oh my days. Right. Well, we should be okay. I've just taken those two out again, and so yeah, if I look at all of them, I've got 4 of that length. One's got a washer on, can't remember why. So I'm guessing 2 are for there, 2 are for there, and the shorter one in there. And which one needs a washer? I don't know. Weird. Maybe that's a shim for something. Okay. The inner one does appear to have some sort of little recess, so maybe that's the reason. This bolt is literally the only one that fits this particular slot, so as in of the 7 remaining, none of them will reach the upper case, which is this bit, and one of them's too long. So anyway. The reason I'm winding them all the way in is I want to make sure I'm still picking the right bolts and they're not too long. They're going to kind of like bottom out or something like that. Okay, so we've got to fit the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's 2 inside. So I think the inside ones is this great big long one and this not so great big long one, but I don't think that will go anywhere here, so very simply try it. It's met threads already, that's difficult to say, but anyway, all of the others are very much shorter, and I think we'll put that one there. Let's see if we can just wind him down. If he bottoms out, he's the wrong bolt. Feels like he's bottomed out. Really difficult to tell. I mean, the best way of making sure you get it right is mark them out, but do it properly. Not in the idiotic fashion that I did. Okay, not that bolt. Let's, annoyingly, 7 bolts, 3 different lengths. 4 shorties, 2 even shorter, and 1 really much longer than all the others. So kind of weird. It looks like that might be a candidate. Okay. Let's go and put the another 4 or 5 in, shall we? And then we can put this little job to bed. God, that's tight, but I think that's just the threads. It's going in. Cleaned all the bolt threads out, but of course you've got the aluminium threads inside the actual cases themselves. Now that is too long, so I'm going to choose one of the shorter ones because it's not seating. Wasn't seating by about the same amount that the bolt was shorter. There you go, that's a nice fit. Lovely. Okay. And let's go for the next two longer ones. I'm guessing there's going to be a pattern there, maybe, so that was the very short one, maybe that's the very short one, just in the way the cases are configured. Possibly, who knows, don't know. Seated absolutely fine. Put the very short one in there. Okay. Just for a test, let's see if the slightly longer one goes in. Not going to do any harm, just to bottom out and won't that seemed to fit as well, so yeah, difficult to know. I don't like that one there though, because I'm not absolutely convinced. It says it's long enough, it shows it's long enough, but anyway, either way, I'm going to swap these over. It may not have been a necessary pattern to it, it may just have been a couple of shorter bolts. I mean, it's a 40-year-old engine, could have very easily been replaced at some point, who knows. They're all seated fine, I'm not torquing them at all. That's literally just seating rather than anything else, so that's all fine. Okay, just these two to go. The short one goes right there, and then this one okay. Still a tiny little bit of graunch in the threads, it's not on the actual bolts, it's just in the actual female threads of the case itself, I think so. Now that is not the right bolt, too long, so thinking that little shorty bolt that I put in, where I said it could be a short or a long one, is the one that needs to go in here. That was the last little shorty bolt I put in. Too long, is it? Actually, that's a good point. It's quite long, wasn't it? Oh yeah, that's much longer. Ooh. Okay. I think that's the one I need to put in there, because I think that one's slightly shorter than this one. And this one should fit there okay. Looks a bit long. That is a through hole, so that should be okay. Let me, oh, it's nice and loose. Let me take this one out. Put that one in. And I think we should be okay. In fact, that's probably the same length as this. No, it's not the same length. Okay, right, so anyway, swap them over. Oh, it fits, so it should be fine. I think that will just go through the bottom of there slightly. Yep, I think that's fine. And then that one should be okay in there now, I think, because it was only very marginally too long. And That all seems fine. So I've made a template. That's exactly how I should have done it in the first place. But yeah, exactly how the bolts are all laid out. So I'm going to just pull them all out and slot them all in, get the cases apart, and then cement the mating surfaces. So let's get on with that. Should come apart quite easily now because it's not going to be bound up with gasket cement or stuck dowels or anything like that, so it can be awkward, but it'll be okay. Yeah, couldn't have been easy, could it? Got a brand new tube of gasket maker, just RTV silicone, black, and yeah, it probably pays just to get the smallest tube you can find, because you go back to use it and it just dries up, and the actual tube generally cracks, so it can be quite difficult to reuse. So there you go, I'm just going to start to put that on. I'm only going to do it on one side. I'm going to try and avoid going all the way up to the bearings. Yeah, I think trying to feed this around the fingers can be quite difficult. Right, well, that was way more work than it needed to be, so let's drop this back on. Hopefully it will slip straight on. Too much fuss. Well, it was a little bit of fuss because one of the forks moved, but slip that back in, so that's all fine. I'll just turn the selector drum there just to make sure everything's rotating okay. Right, before I put all the bolts in, I'm just going to quickly double check the engine turns over okay, because I've just suddenly realised I didn't do that when I had the cases all dry fitted, so that would have made sense. Yeah, we'll call that good. Right. Okay. Right, I'm going to slot all of these back in now. Literally just going to drop them all in. I'm not going to do any of them up at this stage. Just go round, find their little places, and also the internals and the external crankshaft journal bolts. Just put everything in its place, get it all ready. Okay. Let's get these in their positions. Need to find, should have 5 of that length, I think, because one of them goes inside, and so inside, outside, and outside, inside. There you go, because then you've got 6 total, 8 total. The really tall one, drop it there, that's exactly where it goes. And 2 of the shorter ones. And then the other 3 just go in there like that. Right, now we can easily put them all back in place. Washer goes there. Well, that's what we've decided. It's an internal one. It's the other internal one that goes around in this funny little hidey hole. Just there. Right, and the last 3 over here. Not forgetting the external crank journal bolts as well. Right, I've got 3/8 wrench with 10mm socket and a couple of extensions. That's just for the all the smaller bolts, and I've got a 1/2 inch wrench with a deep socket, 12mm for the bigger bolts and to be able to get down inside a key, and 2 different torque wrenches because I think that one's going to be out of range for the smaller bolts, so I just need to go and look up all the torque settings, and then we can get buttoning these up, and then we can flip it over and get the upper crankcase bolts in, which there are only 4 and not at all difficult to locate. They're also very different. Right, let's just run these 10mm bolts down, and these should be nice and easy. So these 10mm, I'm calling them 10mm bolts, so actually 6mm the actual bolt itself, but they're 10mm heads. These need 10 to 14 newton meters of torque, so I'm just going to give them 14, and the internal one's 30 to 34, so similarly I'm going to torque them down to 34, and I'm going to do everything in 2 stages. Right, all in 2 stages then. I'm going to do 28 newton meters on the first pass, or the first stage, if you like. doing this in torque sequence. Right, now before we put the final torque on those, we need to go around the outside and do all the 6mm bolts. Just using a smaller socket, obviously. Okay. Right, that's all the bolts in and torqued up, and what I need to do now, flip it over and do the top case bolts. So nice and easy to sit it on the sump anyway. So yeah, this is where it gets really heavy though, because oh dear. But anyway, well, it is if you're a weakling like me. Right. Okay, we've got one to go there and one there. One to go there, and that's the one with the earth strap, and there's one right there. And I've laid them all out in order. So we shall pop those in, do them up, and we're done. Run these down. These are 12mm, and I've got crush washers. So again, I'm just going to seat them, and they don't actually have a torque pattern according to the manual, so I will just crisscross them evenly, I think. So. This one, just want to make sure cable's ending up in the right place. I think that's the correct orientation anyway, because got to make sure it's available to move around to the battery. It should be okay. It's annoying because you can't get this bolt out when the engine's in the frame, because the heads sort of come over here and completely obscure it, so it's silly really. Okay, last little one over here. Right, I need to use the small wrench for all of these, so I've done one cast them already. I'm just going to go, these need 25 actually, so let me go and get 25 on. Seems like quite a lot, but they are pretty chunky. Right, so 25 on these. And then back to 14 on the other corner. 25 on this side again. And then back to 14. We're done. Cool. There you go, all back together, spins nicely. So the next job for this is to flip it back over, because I've got all the internal bits around, in and around the sump, so oil pump and all the crossover pipes, pressure valve, all that kind of stuff. Got to go in and then get the sump cover on. I'm going to need to get some gasket material, well, I'll say gasket material, O-ring maker, because the one that's on the old sump is, yeah, no good. Anyway, well, that's it for this video. Was just bolting it all back together, really, nothing more interesting than nuts and bolts and spanners, but there you go. Flip it over next time, get all the remaining internal components in, so oil pump and pressure valve, all those bits and bobs, pipe work, get the sump on. Then we can start working on the external engine components, all the shift mechanisms, clutches, stators, all that kind of thing. Nearly there, and nearly getting it ready to get back in the bike, and then we can start on really getting this bike restored and back in good working running order. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and we'll get back to you, and I'll see you in the next video.